We are discussing about Mad Devi Bhagavatam. Om Ganana Antva Ganapatigam Mavamahe Kaving Kavinam Pavashravastramam Jeshtarajam Brahmanan Brahmanaspata Anushrannoti Visvedasadanam Om Mahaganadipataye Namaha Hari Om Om Keshwaya Namaha Om Narayana Namaha Om Madhavaya Namaha Om Govindaya Namaha Om Vishnuve Namaha Matsudraya Namaha Trivikramaya Namaha Vamanaya Namaha Sridharaya Namaha ऋषिकेशाय नमः पद्मनाभाय नमः दामोदराय नमः संकर्षणाय नमः वासुदेवाय नमः प्रद्युम्नाय नमः निरुद्धाय नमः पुरुषोत्तमाय नमः दोक्षाय नमः नारसिंहाय नमः अच्युताय नमः जनार्दनाय नमः उपेन्द्राय नमः हरे नमः श्री कृष्णाय नमः श्री कृष्णाय नमः. In our Hindu religion, Vedas occupy the foremost position as they are revelations free from defects. It's called Shruti. The saints and the yogis and rishis heard the Vedas in the ears, and that's why it's called Shruti. Then comes the Smritis, which are products of human recollection of Vedic revelation. It's called Smriti. Next comes the Puranas, which are narratives which substantiate the truth of the first two, that is Shruti and Smritis. Always there are 5 characters for Puranas. The 5 important characteristics of Puranas have been stated in the Purana itself. Their primary creation of the world is Sarga. Dissolution and recreation of the world is Pratisarga. Genealogical descent of the gods, racial progenitors and sage are called Vamsha. Periods of the Manus who preside over the dissolution and recreations are called Manvantara. So we are in the Vaivasvata Manvantara at the moment. Vaivasvata, he is called Vaivasvata because he was son of son. Vaivaswan is a son god, and his son is Vaivasvata. And this Manvantara, what we are in now, is called Vaivasvata Manvantara. History of royal dynasties, past, present, and future, is called Vamsha Charitavali or Vamshanucharita. Most of the Mahapuranas, as current now, do not confine themselves only to the treatment of the above 5 topics. Mostly, they are characteristic of this 5 characters of Puranas. We can see most of them. Shiva Purana describes the incarnation and matter connected with the Shiva. Vishnu Purana describes the details of Vishnu avatars. Similarly, Devi Bhagavata gives the details regarding the Devi. Devi Bhagavata is stated to be Mahapurana by the great writer Vyasa Maharshi. Among 18 Puranas, Devi Bhagavata is the most supreme according to Veda Vyasa. It bestows dharma, desires wealth, and liberation of the readers, liberation to the readers, like Srimad Bhagavata with his Krishna story. This is also very holy and fulfill all the desires of the devotees. The glory of Devi Bhagavata is given in Manasa Khanda of Skanda Purana. It is not an ordinary Purana. It's a very holy Purana. It's a very important Purana, like Srimad Bhagavata, where Vishnu Katha is narrated, and also in Ramayana. The reading Devi Bhagavata is also done frequently at many places in India and outside of India for the fulfillment of desires. For those who hear Devi Bhagavata story or Devi Bhagavata Purana, success is not away. It should be always read by men for the fulfillment of their desire. Reading the Devi Bhagavata in a period of 9 days is called Navaha Yajna. That is contained in Navaratri. 9 days of the Navaratri, they will finish the chapter of Srimad Bhagavata, Devi Bhagavata Purana. This is considered to be a very holy and wish-yielding for the devotees. Purana can be considered as a literature as well. Purana literature is very ancient. The name Purana occurs in Badaranyaka Upanishad, Gopata Brahmana, Taittiriya Aranyaka, Chandogya Upanishad, Satpatha Brahmana, etc. But most of the existing Puranas, though containing much old material, seem to be late compilations. It appears Purana must have been recast after the 2nd or 3rd century of the of the Christ. The line occurs in Taittiriya Aranyaka. So there is no doubt about the fact that Puranas have been in existence since yore. Bhavishyat Purana is mentioned in Apastamba Dharma Sutra. Apastamba is earlier than 3rd century BC. In the history of Dharma Shastra written in one of the section Purana, Devi Bhagavata mentions Meenakshi of Madura, Kanchi Kamakshi, Chidambara, Turjibara, Tulajapura, Kolhapura, etc. of South India. The word Bhagavata can be interpreted and derived in two ways. That which pertains to Bhagavata, that is Lord Vishnu avatars. And in this way, it will mean Vishnu Bhagavata. We can interpret the word as that which belongs to goddess Devi. And in this way, the word Bhagavata will mean Devi Bhagavata. Both Vishnu Bhagavata and Devi Bhagavata contain 18,000 slokas, both of them, and are divided into 12 skandhas. Both of them are divided into 12 skandhas. In the Purana literature, Bhagavata occupies the very important place. The narrator of this Devi Bhagavata is Vedavyasa himself, and Vedavyasa is explaining and narrating to Janamejaya. Janamejaya is the hearer, and Devi Bhagavata is narrated to Janamejaya by Vedavyasa Maharshi. This Janamejaya is the son of Parikshit Maharaj, to whom Shuka narrated Vishnu Bhagavata. Srimad Bhagavata at Ganga Dwara. By a study of Devi Bhagavata, it becomes clear that Devi, Mother Goddess, is the supreme God. She is eternal and omnipresent. Parabrahman, she is Saguna Brahman. Also, by her Maya Sakti, she is extremely benevolent and kind. She is attainable through yoga and bhakti marga. She has three powers: Sattvika, Rajasika, and Tamasika. They appear as Lakshmi as Sattvika, Saraswati as Rajasika, and Kali the Parvati as Tamasika. The Sattvika power maintains Rajasika, Saraswati and Kali through the Rajasika powers. She creates through Sattvika power, she protects and maintains in Sattvika power, and she destroys in Tamasika power. All the Puranas speak about one supreme Brahman. In Vishnu Purana is Vishnu is a supreme Brahman. In Shiva Purana, Linga Purana, Vayu Purana, etc., Shiva is the supreme Brahman. According to Devi Bhagavata, Devi is the supreme Brahman Shakti. Devi is the supreme Brahman Shakti, is the Paramatman. Paramatman is the Shakti. There is no difference between them. Bhagavata, the criterion for the Purana to be called Bhagavata is as follows. The Purana in which Dharma is told in detail based on Gayatri and the killing of Vratasura is also described, is called Bhagavata. Devi Bhagavata satisfies this condition. Details regarding Gayatri are given in the 11th and 12th skandhas, and Vratasura Vada is also described in it. As told earlier, Devi Bhagavata contains much old material, but it mentions names of Mayuras, Yunas, Mlechas, and Yavanas. Clearly so, it must be a late Purana compiled between 680 and 1000 AD. Devi Bhagavata is very popularized in both North India and in South India. Content of Devi Bhagavata, the Devi Bhagavata contains 12 skandhas and 318 chapters. Skandha 1 details regarding the Puranas. Devi Bhagavata is Mahapurana, Devi's glory, killing of Madhu and Kaitaba by Vishnu. Pururava's story, Shuka's birth, Pururavas, Pururavas and Urvashi. Shuka studies this Purana. Shuka goes to Mithila and is advised to Janaka. Skanda 2, story of Parashara, birth of Vyasa, Pandava's extinction of Yadus, Parikshit's death by the bite of Taksha, and Parikshit given Shukamahadeva gave Bhagavata Purana to Parikshita. Glory of Devi Bhagavata, Skanda 3, Janmejaya's question to Vyasa Maharshi, Narada's description of Devi Bhuvaneshwari and her worship, Brahma, Vishnu and Shiva see Devi and praise her, description of Devi as Bhuvaneshwari, story of Satyavrata, Vagbija, Ambajana, nature of gunas, stories of Vishwamitra, Sudarshana, etc., Navratra Ratha, story of Ramayana worship of Devi by Rama, Skanda 4th, Janmejaya's question regarding Krishnavatara. Vyasa Maharshi advised to Janmejaya, Kashyapa birth as Vasudeva, stories of Narayana, Prahlada and Shukra, avatars of Hari, story of Krishna, Pradyumna, etc. Skanda 5, that's a book number 5, Skanda 5, Devi Mahatme, glory of Devi is being given. And Mahishasura Vada, fight between Devi, price of Devas, destruction of Dhumralochana, Chandamunda and Raktabija, Shumba and Nishumba, description of Bhuvana Sundari, that is in Skanda 5th. And in Skanda 6th, killing of Ratasura by Indra, stories of Sunasepa, Hayavasa, Nahusha, place Skanda 7th, lineage of Surya Vamsha and Soma Vamsha, story of story of Havana and Sukanya, story of Chavana Maharshi and Sukanya, sacrifice by Saryati, stories of Satyavrata and Harishchandra, Devi Bhuvaneshwari Parikshit plays sacred to Devi, Devi Gita. Method of worship of Devi is given in 6th book. Skanda 8th, Devi's boon to Manu, Vishnu's incarnation as a boar, Vamana. Manu Vamsha, Priyavrata, description of earth, Varshas and Dvipas, mountains and planets, Dhruva Rahu, description of lower regions, Atala, Vitala, etc. Description of hells, sins and punishment for them. Worship of Devi also given in the 9th book. In the Skanda 9th, that is 9th book, description of Shakti in brief, worship of Saraswati, stories of Ganga, Tulsi, Shankachuda, worship of Tulsi, story of Savitri, glory of Devi, stories of Mahalakshmi, Mangala, Chandi, Radha, Durga, etc. In Skanda 10th book, Swayambhu Manu, Vindhya mountain and Agastya, stories of Soroshicha, Chakshusho, Savarani and other Manus, Mahakali, Mahalakshmi, Mahasaraswati and their stories. Skanda 11, that is book number 11, daily routine, Nanavidi, wearing of Rudraksha beads, description of Rudrakshas, Bhuta Shuddhi, Shirovrata, greatness of Bhasma, that is ash. We put on the forehead ash, Bhasma, its importance of Bhasma is also given in that book. Tripundra Urdhava Pundra marks on the forehead. Sandhyopasana, Brahma Yajna, Gayatri Purascharana, Vishwadeva, Prayishchittas are given in the 11th. 12th book, Rishis, etc. of Gayatri, Gayatri Kavacham, Gayatri Hridayam, Gayatri Sahasranama, description of Manidvipa, Chintamani, Griha, Devi Yajna, conclusion and results which occur by a study of this Purana. The glory of this great Purana, Devi Bhagavata, as described in Manasakanda of Skanda Purana. Devi Bhagavata is a Mahapurana. Devi Bhagavata and Srimad Bhagavata are complementary to each other. And when you read both Vishnu Bhagavata and Devi Bhagavata combined, then you complete Bhagavata reading. If you read only Vishnu Bhagavata without reading Devi Bhagavata, Bhagavata pravachana is not completely finished. So you have to read Devi Bhagavata also and Mahabhagavata Purana of Vishnu Bhagavata also we should read one after the other. Srimad Bhagavata are complementary to each other. We have to consider both as Mahapuranas and keep them as the fifth Mahapurana. The Purana starts with the Gayatri. We meditate upon the first Vidya, who is of the form of all consciousness. May she impel our intellect. She is the Parashakti, great goddess Mahamaya. The main deity of this his great work is goddess Bhuvaneshwari, a benign form of Devi. She lives in Manidvipa. Description of Manidvipa is given in the 12th skanda, 10th adhyaya. 10th adhyaya of the 12th book gives the description of Manidvipa. Description of her place, Chinta Chintamani Graha are all young and enjoying all comforts through the worship of goddess. The goddess is extremely beautiful and kind. She always fulfills the desires of the devotees. She wards off all evil and takes care of her devotees in every way. For a devotee of Devi, there is nothing unattainable in this world. According to Vedavyasa Maharshi, if you are a devotee of Devi, there is nothing unattainable in this world according to Vyasa Maharshi. Thus, this Purana gives immense strength to the devotees. She is a Maya and Brahma Vidya also. She is Shakti, power also. She is the supreme Brahman. She is the Nimitta Karana, instrumental cause, as well as Upadana Karana, material cause and maternal cause of the universe. In the ninth skanda of Devi Purana, that is importance of the five forms of Durga. Radha, Lakshmi, Saraswati and Savitri is declared. Devi is Prakriti. She is Durga. Radha is Lakshmi. Saraswati and Savitri in this way, through one she is known in the five forms. She is Saguna Brahman. She is Ishwari. She cannot be known. She cannot be known easily. Only Jnanis can realize her. Jnanis in yogis and who are highly intellectual people can realize her. Mahavakyas are the means to know her. Great Jnanis like Bhagavan Sri Shankaracharya, Sri Gaudapada, Sri Bhaskararaya of ancient times were all worshippers of Devi. Sri Shankaracharya has composed Saundarya Lahari in praise of the goddess of Shakti. In Shankara Mutt, even today, worship of Devi continues in an elaborate manner. Even saints like Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, Sri Karapatra Swami, etc., of recent times were worshippers of Devi. She is the Adya Shakti, that is first power. O Mother of the universe, those who worship you as Ambika, Jaganmaya, Maya, etc., attain all objects of desire. The entire universe in her form. Everything in this universe is pervaded inside and outside of her. There nothing that is left off by her. The rope in the darkness appears as a snake by confusion without a light. In the same way, Devi appears as Ishvara, Vishnu, Brahman, etc. In reality, Jiva and Ishvara are all one. The difference is produced only by Maya. Avidya is the cause of the difference of Jivas from Brahman. There is no other cause for this difference. The universe is imposed on the base substratum, Parabrahman. By the existence of Parabrahman, the universe exists. And that Parabrahman is Devi herself. When Devi is declared that she is everything in this universe, and there is nothing that is not pervaded by her. Himavan wanted to see her cosmic form, Vishwarupa. She shows that cosmic form up to Devas, Brahma, Vishnu, etc. See, in 7th skanda, 33rd adhyaya, this happens. Seeing the cosmic form of Deva, seeing the cosmic form, the Devas were terrified. They fainted and fell down. They requested her to show the benign form again and withdraw the cosmic form. Seeing the cosmic form, they was terrified. Devi, the motion of mercy, withdraw her terrific form and showed her extremely beautiful benign form. She was having nose, ankusha in her upper hands. By her lower two hands, she was giving boons and refuge from fear. Her eyes were full of compassion. Her lotus-like face was giving a gentle smile. Her lotus-like face was giving a gentle smile. Seeing her beautiful form, the Devas were free from fear. They became peaceful. They bowed down and praised Devi with joy. Their voice was faltering due to joy. We were reminded of the 11th Adhyaya of Srimad Bhagavad Gita, wherein Lord Krishna shows his cosmic form to Arjuna. After seeing the Vishwarupa, Arjuna was convinced once for all that Lord Krishna was none other than Parabrahman. Thus, we found the quintessence of all the Vedanta in this great Purana. Pure Advaita is taught here, which is set forth in the great Upanishads. Worship of Nirguna Brahman is very difficult for ordinary people. Only great sannyasins and jnanis are qualified for it and are capable for it. But the goddess Devi can be worshipped by all, and everything, including liberation, can be achieved through her grace. In Devi Bhagavata, we find the essence of all Upanishads set forth in very clear, easy form. Bhuvaneshwari is explained in the third skanda and third adhyaya. Devi Bhagavata description of Bhuvaneshwari is given. In the midst of the ocean of nectar in Manidvipa, she is seated on the couch of Shiva. She is having in her hands Nus, Ankusha, Vara, Bhuns, and Abhishta, all that is desired. No deity has ever been seen equal to her in beauty. She is extraordinarily beautiful. She is smiling, and that smile itself is like an ornament for her. She is reddish in color. She is the personified form of compassion. She is a Kumari in her fresh youth. She is served and worshipped by those ever engaged in chanting the mantra Hreem. In the 24th Adhyaya, the installation of Durga in Kashi is told. In the fourth skanda, it is told the story of Sri Krishna in detail. Shiva advises Sri Krishna to worship remembrance of the feet of Devi makes the birth beautiful. One should meditate on her as Brahman and as I am that Brahman. She should be meditated upon as one's own Atman. By this one gets released from samsara. By crores of rituals, one cannot get liberation. The sages of Shvetashvatara, etc., got release from the samsara by grace of Devi Bhagavati. For detail, the exploits of Durga are slaying Asura such as Mahishasura, Raktabija, Dhumralochana, Chanda and Munda, Shumba and Nushumba are told in the fifth skanda. This description closely follows Devi Mahatmya, that is Saptashati, Durga Saptashati, which is a part of Markandeya Purana. In the sixth skanda, the power of Mahamaya is described. The Jiva is helpless and is under the control of Maya. If Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva are under the sway of Maya, what to talk about others? That Maya remains in Brahman and all the Jivas. Devi is the goddess of controlling Maya. One should meditate on her. One should worship her. One should bow to her. One should chant her mantras. Namavarana mantra is a great mantra. It is called Om Haim Reem Kleem Chamundaya Viche. In Devi Yajna, Durgashtami Yajna, they chant this Navakshari mantra. Some people call Navakshari mantra. Om Haim Reem Kleem Chamundaya Viche Swaha. They pour ghee on the Yajna. That is sacred mantra of Devi. One should worship her, one should bow to her, one should chant her mantras. By this, she becomes kind and releases the jiva from Maya. Devi is pleased only by good conduct. This is given in the 11th skanda in great detail. Even if the 4 Vedas are studied along with the 6 Angas, Shiksha, Kalpa, Vyakarana, etc., they do not purify a person devoid of good conduct. The Vedas leave him at the time of the death, even as the birds leave the nest and fly away when the wings are born. Radha her worship, etc. are described in the Devi Bhagavata also. But in Srimad Bhagavata, Radha is not mentioned in Vishnu Bhagavata anywhere. The story of Tulsi, method of her worship, etc. are found in the 9th Khanda of Sri Devi Bhagavata. Story of Savitri is given in detail in the 9th Khanda. In Adhyayas 26 to 38, Yama gave Satyavan back to her with blessings and advices regarding dharma. This Devi Bhagavata is a great encyclopedia containing many stories, modes of worship, mantras, rules of conduct and conduct, etc. Devotees of Devi read this Bhagavata in a period of 9 days according to Shastric rules to achieve their desired objects. The procedure is thus first day up to three books, 13th Adhyaya, second day up to fourth book, 8th Adhyaya, third day up to fifth book, 18th Adhyaya, fourth day up to fourth skanda, 18th Adhyaya, fifth day up to seventh skanda, 18th Adhyaya, sixth day up to 8th skanda and 17th Adhyaya, seventh day up to 9th skanda, 28th Adhyaya, 8th day up to 10th skanda, 13th Adhyaya, 9th day up to the end of 12th skanda. This Purana was published in 1922. It was written by the new author with the translation of Swami Vijnananda from Allahabad. The present edition is a reprint of the same with slokas of Sanskrit. We hope that will be extremely useful to the readers and also the listeners to bless. Om नमोस्तु अनंताय सहस्रमूर्तये सहस्रपादाक्षरवा सहस्रनाम्ने पुरुषाश्रये सहस्रकोटियुगधारिणे नमः सहस्रकोटियुगधारिणे नमः आकाशात् परिगम्य सागरं सर्वदेव नमस्कारः श्रीकेशं परिगत्यो नमः सर्ववेदेशत्पुण्यं सर्वतीर्थेषु यत्फलं तत्फलं प्रमाप्य वासनात् वासुदेवस्य वास्तन्ते जगत्रयं सर्वभूतनिवासोऽसि वासुदेवमृते कायेन वाचा मनसेन्द्रियैर्वा बुद्ध्यात्मना वा प्रकृते स्वभावात् करोमि यद्यत् सकलं परस्मै नारायणायेति समर्पयामि नारायणायेति समर्पयामि नारायणायेति समर्पयामि हरि ओम. Thus ends the introduction of Sri Devi Bhagavata.